Utility costs can vary because of equipment, weather, or how hard your AC has to work. Today alone, the helicopter is supposed to hit over 4,000 acres with these spherical devices. By what police are saying, has to be a professional. The owners aren't saying how much they paid for him, but the people in the horse community I talked to said he was valued at about $500,000. Visitors stay on average for 6 months. Each spot includes water, sewer, trash, TV, and Wi-Fi. And although there are no humans currently staying at the hotel, some Lake City residents worry that by doing renovations, it could bring out unwanted guests. The new building will be where I'm standing now. It'll have to close off 30 of these staff parking spots. Today, I rode along with the Florida Forest Service as workers began the burn by hand. The funeral is scheduled for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. The viewing will continue here tonight until 7 p.m. Reporting live from Gainesville, Jenny Tintner, WUFT News. Governor Rick Scott walked into the Starbucks in downtown Gainesville yesterday and got an earful.
Shame on you, Rick Scott. We depend on those services.
That's Kara Jennings. She says she was very upset about the abortion bill the governor signed last week. When she saw him walk into Starbucks, she says she saw an opportunity.
And what you can't see on the video is it starts out by me just saying, "Hey, Governor Scott," and him turning to me and me asking him why he signed the bill that is damaging for women's health care choices.
In the video, Jennings yells at Governor Scott, saying that he cut Medicaid so she could not get Obamacare, and cursed at him. Jennings is a former Lake Worth City Commissioner and is visiting a friend in Gainesville. The video was recorded by UF Architecture Adjunct Assistant Professor Stephen Bender. Bender posted it on YouTube and has gone viral nationally. The governor was here at the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce yesterday afternoon. He was meeting with the Council for Economic Outreach. He left and went into Starbucks to grab a drink. The video was also captured by other people in the Starbucks.
It's like in between, because Rick Scott is a nice guy to me and she's a nice woman to me, so I really can't pick or choose who is right or who is wrong.
The governor's office has responded to the incident, saying people with radical views tend to not like civil debate. A self-proclaimed anarchist rudely yelled and cursed at the governor. She also refused to pledge allegiance to the flag. It's a free country, but it's not at all surprising that an anarchist prefers shouting over conversation. The governor's office is referring to a 2010 article in the Palm Beach Post profiling Jennings. Connor, Marie. You know, it looks more like the Batmobile than a regular car. It weighs about 4,000 pounds and costs $250,000. That's just one of the devices donated today by a local defense firm. Students were able to open up the hood and check it out.
We're talking about our brakes and suspension too, a little bit.
Christian Walsh has been working on cars all of his life, but today he's working on a vehicle you'd expect to see Batman driving.
This is going to be a lot different. It's all custom made, it's all fabricated. This is going to be like a playpen for us.
Students at Lofton High School are working on 2 military-grade devices donated by local defense firm Phalanx Defense Systems. The Mechanical Armored Navigational Terrain Interface Stealth System, or MANTIS, was designed to be dropped behind enemy lines for special operations.
The Mantis is a bullet-resistant vehicle, and it's primarily stealth, which means it's invisible to thermal, radar, and various infrared.
Coates says he designed the Mantis for a military contract, but missed the deadline by 3 weeks.
It is the most expensive mistake we've ever made. It's what you do with your mistakes and failures that define your path.
He's donated it to the school to have the students come up with new ways to use the vehicle, and one day send it back to the military. The other device Coates donated is a deactivated bomb disposal robot named Kirby.
You know, working on a truck out there, you got to do a repair. You can't really let your imagination run wild and do whatever you want to it, really. This over here, we can put our ideas into it and see what works.
The school will be opening an engineering and robotics magnet academy this fall. The Mantis will be part of that program.
I've been in mental hospitals and crisis units. I've been in detoxes and rehabs. I've been in jail.
It's those reasons that Dr. William Walls says he's qualified for his job. He works at Meridian Behavioral Health Care in Gainesville, helping people with mental illness in jails, just like he was once too.
I used to be a real burden on society. So, because everybody was spending money on me to keep me functional. Now I give back.
Bipolar disorder and drug addiction. He had a breakdown and lost his job as an English professor at Santa Fe College 10 years ago.
I like to say that Meridian is a place where people go that help people that nobody else will. Because that was true for me.
Dr. Wall says a lack in funding has left them without necessary items like a van. Florida ranks 49th in funding per person on mental health services. In 2012, the U.S. average was about $125. In Florida, the average was about $37. Mental health funding by the state has been flat and has even decreased over the past 25 years. This year, that's changing. Governor Rick Scott is creating a pilot program in Alachua County to study services by mental health providers like Meridian and how to best fund them. The executive order also created programs in Broward and Pinellas counties.
He chose Alachua because it represents more of a rural setting. So he wants to get a cross-section of counties in the state of Florida.
LSF Health Systems is a managing entity in Northeast Florida. They were chosen by the governor's office to oversee the pilot program.
We really need a better way of tracking those individuals to ensure that they're getting the aftercare that they need and that they don't fall through the cracks.
This executive order is paired with a proposal in Scott's recommended budget for $19 million towards mental illness and substance abuse care.
What I suspect they will show is the situation is so out of control that the problem is so much bigger than people who are not involved in this business understand.
The proposal is to be voted on by the Florida legislature in January. Jenny Tintner, WUFT News.